Hey y'all, so my name is Jillian Miller, and welcome to 21 Days of May. Tiana invited me to speak upon my journey, my spiritual journey, and I just want to share with you guys like everything um, from the start to where I am right now. So let's just get into it. I'm a personal stylist, I'm a Navy sailor, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm all of the things. And basically how I got to this point, I'm just gonna go dive into that just a little bit. So I went on deployment. It was my second deployment. I was on a ship and I was engaged to a young man for 4 years. So we're together for like 4 years. Lots of ups and downs, lots of turmoil, more harm than good, and I just wanted to stay in that relationship because I was so codependent on him. Like I felt like I needed him. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I needed him because I didn't really like love or care about myself. So I would always seek that love and care in somebody else because I didn't have it within myself. And when so we were going through our ups and downs before I left deployment. And so when I got, when we left, everything was pretty much rocky. Like it was just not good at all. And I just was not happy. So I would just I would literally be in my workspace just eating. Like I would eat Tapatio Doritos. I'm gonna tell you, I would eat Tapatio Doritos, dip it in some spinach, and that made me so happy. And I just turned to food, and I was just eating and eating and eating and eating, right? Until I realized I was the biggest person in my work center. Like everybody there was pretty much, fit, and they took care of themselves really well, like you could tell. And I always wanted that, but I thought that that's what I wanted physically, but I didn't understand that that's what I needed mentally. I needed to mentally exercise myself. And since I was just so unhappy, I just really couldn't get to that point because I didn't think that I had to take care of my mental first. And so in that relationship, he had broke up with me. And at this point, I'm just like super down about it because I'm just like, damn, like, how this nigga really finna break up with me on Mother's Day while I'm deployed? Didn't send me nothing. The nigga didn't send me nothing. So I'm just like crushed. You know what I'm saying? I really thought that I was supposed to be spending the rest of my life with this person. So I'm crying and crying. I don't think I haven't cried that much in a long time. And it's just like, sometimes we really need to cry to like let it out. And I always thought that crying was just such a weak trait. I'm just like, why are you crying? Like, girl, go fucking like, go sit down somewhere. Like, I always thought that that was a weak trait. When really crying really heals. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know that. So he broke up with me, and I was just like, you know what? Before that, I was going to the gym. I wasn't consistent at all. The whole point of this is I had no discipline in no area of my life. I think the only thing I was disciplined in was being a mother at that point. Because I knew that this, little child depended on me to guide him through the world. You know what I'm saying? So after that breakup, I was just like, you know what? I got to be strong for myself, and I got to be strong for my baby. So even though I'm like super sad that I'm away from him, what can I do so that when I get back, it's beneficial to him? Now, when I got to the boat, I was a very low ranking sailor. You know what I'm saying? So one of my goals was to get promoted. I just started setting goals for myself. I said I wanted to lose 30 pounds. you know, it was just so much that I wanted to do for myself because I didn't want to go back to those self-detrimental ways, like eating and self-loathing and just not really taking care of myself. So I just said that I don't want to do that anymore because that's not helping me. So I started to work out more consistently. I just really started to take care of my body. And in doing so, that really helped me take care of my mind. And with my mind becoming a little more healthy, I was able to even, you know, take in knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand that. When you're in an unhealthy place in your life, if somebody telling you to read a book, like, to you, that's not a fix. You know what I'm saying? To you feel like, okay, if I read a book, what is that gonna do? But honestly, reading a book really changed how I thought. So I had this friend. He frequently came in my work area, and he was always so positive. We always had the most meaningful conversations of substance, because that's so important. And I feel like throughout the day, like during the deployment, I had so many meaningless conversations that really didn't go anywhere. And I was just feeling like a little empty. But I was getting myself together. Like, I was doing the work. I was getting myself together, but I was just feeling like a little like, okay, I'm almost there, but let me just keep going. So he gave me this book, and it's called The Complete Game of Life by Florence Scovel Shinn, right? So I read this book, and that book really changed my life, y'all. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. That book changed my life. Like, it was literally, it talked about manifestation. It talked about having a personal relationship with God. It talked about all the things that I needed in that period of my life. And I was so happy that I could embrace that. And so I just, at first I thought that the things that you want, you act like you don't want them. But when really in the book, it talked about manifesting what you want. It's nothing wrong. Like, I used to think it was wrong to even, be boastful about the things you want. So when people were like, I want that and I'm gonna get it, that made me feel like, oh, like, I was just like, I just felt this weird, funny way. And the reason why I felt like that was because I had never, like, thought that that was the way to go about things. So I'm reading this book, and I'm learning about love. I'm learning about taking care of myself. I'm learning about having that personal relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? And I prayed and wrote in my journal heavily. Like, that was what I had to do to continue to get through. So I wrote in my journal all my goals and everything. And I left it alone. And next thing, I know I'm living my goals. I got promoted. I lost a substantial amount of weight. I was just internally, I was just very happy. And I had never been that happy, that positive in my life. And I always thought that depended on somebody else. I was always looking for that in somebody else and not in myself. So I just want y'all to, realize that self-love is so important. And even when I came back from deployment, it took me some time, but I knew I had to go see therapy. I knew I had to go seek a therapist, because I began to get back into those ways of hiding my emotions and hiding my feelings and all of that. And I was like, no, like, I know how good I felt then, and I need to continue this on. I need to be consistent. I need to be disciplined. And going to see a therapist really helped me. Continuing my relationship with God really helped me. And I ain't gonna get all preachy on y'all, nothing, but I'm just saying, like, that's so important. Like, to have that relationship is so important. And it's also important that if you ask for something, that you do the work. That's another thing. You could ask God for all this stuff, but if you don't do the work, you're not going to get what you want. And I'm learning that now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still learning that. And I just want y'all to know, like, make sure you take care of yourself mentally. You just really, it's so important, especially as a woman, a black woman. You have to take care of yourself. You have to love yourself, because sometimes, like, we depend on other people to love us the way that we need to be loving ourselves. And for so long, that was just so hard. And it's like, once I